Cocalero is a bare-bones film for a bare-bones subject. This 2007 documentary is Alejandro Landes' first as a director, and I would call it his first success. The film centers on Bolivian presidential candidate and leader of the Coca Leaf Growers Union, Evo Morales, during the historic 2005 election, and it follows Morales everywhere, from speeches and debates to haircuts and impromptu river swims. What struck me immediately while viewing Cocalero was the sparse and meager filmmaking that in many ways mirrored the bare-bones presidential campaign of its subject. This is a fitting choice that makes Evo and the film itself the underdogs, which garnered great support from me. While the majority of the film paints Morales as the obvious choice for the Bolivian presidency, Landes inserts several juxtaposing images, such as Morales with his heroes Hugo Chavez and Fidel Castro. It's as if Landes is saying, "Are you sure this is the right guy?" These contradictions are expertly placed in the film and allowed me to make up my own mind. Ultimately, I would highly recommend Cocalero to mature documentary lovers. However, viewers should be prepared to do their own research if they wish to know more about the potentially dirty underbelly of this political movement.
Most of French director Albert Lamouresse's films celebrate the miracle of flight, but few are as magical and award-winning as his 1956 short film, The Red Balloon. This 34-minute quirky fantasy film was a surprisingly incredible, easy-to-swallow short story of a sweet companionship between a child and an unexpected but very special friend. A red balloon with a life and mind of its own. Set against the muted backdrop of a Parisian neighborhood, the experience captures childlike imagination and fantasy play as we follow the duo through the streets of Paris. It's almost incredible that it was made in 1956 because it's far from looking that old, partially because it's colored, and partially because of its filmmaking. Looks more like something made in the 1970s rather than 11 years after the end of World War II. This isn't a silent film, however. It has a very little French dialogue, but it works and makes the message even more universal. The greatness behind the film for me is the underlying lesson, which anyone could appreciate, of the resilience and persistence of young dreams against the cruelty of those who wish to puncture them. The film will captivate any viewer, young and old, through its beautiful compositions and the simple story about life and its challenges, and is not to be missed.
Und Deine Liebe auch, and Your Love Too, is a unique documentary meets romance film that's set in the 1960s in Germany. On one side, you have this unique love triangle between Uli, Klaus, and Eva that is roused by an unexpected pregnancy and an even more unlikely father. You'll be moved by these scenes of romance, jealousy, and drama. On the other side, the film makes a great historical documentary as it contains authentic footage of the rise of the DDR and its Berlin Wall. You'll feel like you were actually there with actual footage of the tanks, the soldiers, the guns, and the Berlin Wall. You'll be surprised at how artistic the director Vogel was in tying together these two polars. I'd recommend this film to anyone looking for a date night, a history paper, or both.